Hey y'all, and welcome to the Birmingham real estate market update. This is the 10th week of us going through and looking at the Birmingham real estate market statistics. We're looking at sales, we're looking at inventory, and each week just looking for patterns or effects from this coronavirus shutdown that we had. So staying right on top of the market, that's the first thing we're going to do is go through the last week's numbers. Then we're going to see about how you can use that information as a participant in the real estate market right now if you're looking for a home to buy. And then I'm going to give an update on the economic stimulus, specifically the PPP loan. And what's happening is that the free money for small business entrepreneurs, small business owners, contractors, the free money is getting freer. So it's a good thing. And I'll give you the update on how that's working and how that's developing. My name's Rob.h.drum. I'm an associate broker at eXp Realty here in Birmingham. And I also write a blog at robert.h.drum.us. I'll put that information as well as my contact information in the description of this video. If you want to reach out, please do. And if there's anything I can help you with ever, just let me know. I'm always happy to do that. So let's get started on this week's numbers. We had 356 closings this week versus the same period last year. We had 460. So kind of running right in line with what we've seen this whole shutdown period. For this whole period, we've really seen 15 to 20% less volume of closings. There's really been no effect in terms of prices. And next week, we will see the pricing numbers, the home price appreciation for May, and we'll really get a better feel for if there were any effects from the coronavirus shutdown on prices. I don't anticipate that we will, but we'll be able to see that in our video next week. So definitely subscribe to my channel if you get a chance. I'd appreciate it. And I'm going to continue doing these videos about our market, keeping everyone updated on everything that we need to know about Birmingham real estate. So if you look at last week, it was pretty interesting. These numbers again are live, so some closings don't get updated the same day that they happen. So if you look at it a week past, the numbers usually get revised higher. So last week ended up at 442, and that comes really close to what we saw for the same period the previous year, maybe about 10% less. So that's a good sign. And then as far as inventory, every week I take a snapshot of active listings and under contract listings. And what I pointed out in the video last week is that we're seeing each and every week a decrease in active listings and an increase in listings that are under contract. So what that creates and what that shows is very limited inventory, highly competitive market, a strengthening market where more and more properties are going under contract. There's less and less supply available. And this is a visualization that we looked at last week, but you can see again, each week, a percentage decline in active listings, each week, a percentage increase in under contract listings. And so that leads to a very competitive market. If you talk to any real estate agent, they'll tell you that the biggest problem right now is limited inventory, low inventory, no inventory. So, and what that means is that they are in the market with buyer clients who are looking for a home, and either they can't find the home that fits their needs, that will work for them, or they find it, but they get beat in a multiple offer situation. So they might make an offer, not win the home, be devastated, make an offer on another home, not win it, and kind of repeat that cycle a couple times. It's extremely frustrating for both the clients and the agent. So I realized that I should probably share some tips that I've seen from working with buyers. And this is really, I guess it's kind of for home buyers, but it's also for agents. I mentor agents at eXp. I have a group of agents that I mentor. And so I always like to try to teach them anything that I pick up from my business. So these are kind of my 3 tips that are for the market right now. It may have been totally different 5 years ago, but what I'm seeing right now is that speed is really important. As soon as that listing hits the market, you need to be going to see it or contacting the listing agent and letting, if it's a house that looks like it could be the one, then you really need to jump on it, because a lot of homes are selling or going under contract within a day, if not within hours. So very few homes that are priced well, that have professional pictures and that look good online are lasting more than a couple days, a week at most, on the market. So if it looks like one that you are interested in, you need to get there quickly. You need to be decisive, and decide if you want to offer very quickly, because other people are going to be moving fast. So you need to be prepared and with financing, and just ready to pull the trigger on the right property. And the second thing is, once you find that right property, you've gotten to it quickly, and there's most likely going to be other buyers and agents who have already gotten to the property. If it's a good one, they're going to be making offers. So you're probably in a multiple offer situation, especially in some of the hotter areas of Birmingham. So once you're in that, what I found is that, and this is as a listing agent who has had hot listings where we get multiple offers and it sells far above list price, and also as a buyer's agent who is trying to get my clients the right home, doing my best to make sure they get the best price they can. But once, in my opinion, once you find that home that needs to be your home, the most important thing is getting it. And so what I found is that communicating with the listing agent makes a big difference. And I know that from a listing agent perspective, you've got 5, 6, 7 offers coming in. They all have different terms, not just the price, but there's other things involved. There's closing costs that people may be asking for, certain attorneys, or different items that are in our contract that may be variables. There's financing, who's doing the financing, how they're doing the financing. That can play a role. So there's a lot to juggle, and having an agent call you and say, hey, my clients are really interested, they want this house, here's their deal, tell me what we need to do to get it, that kind of thing really helps to know that you've got a buyer who is determined to get it and going to be really committed to the purchasing process. So as a listing agent, I know it helps, and so I try to do that. As a buyer's agent representing clients, I think I've got 4 right now that are looking for a home to live in, and I think that's really important to be the voice in the listing agent's ear that, hey, I know it's a multiple offer situation. We want to be involved in that process. They really want the house. What do they need to do? So that communication can really make a difference. And then the last thing is just mindset, that you're probably not going to buy a house below listing price. Definitely not much below listing price. If you do, it's just not the market that we're in. But the good thing is that financing is at all-time lows. I don't know if we'll see these kind of low financing rates ever again. So if you're buying a house right now, you're getting a great deal in terms of financing, in terms of locking in a 30-year mortgage rate, 30-year interest rate at 3%, or even lower in some cases. It's just really outstanding. So that's where your deal is. And if you end up having to raise your purchase price by 2, 3, 4,000, that amount of money at 3% over 30 years is just almost nothing. It's a very small amount that you'll be paying each month, just extremely small. So that's something that knowledge, I mean, you should use to your advantage, and get the house that's the right house. And that's, that's what I'm doing. I'm currently buying a house that's new construction, and I'm not getting a deal. I'm paying just the list price, but I know that the financing is going to be really good for the long term, and it'll be the right house for my family. So that's what you want to look for. The next thing that I wanted to just touch on and give y'all the update on is the PPP loans. That's something I've talked about every week on this show. The funds are still available. I didn't know how long they would last. A lot of people thought they would be gone by now. Self-employed people are eligible, and that's really something that I think has been good about the show, that I've kind of tried to drive home, that if you are a 1099 contractor, if you're self-employed, if you have a small business, you don't need a payroll. If you're a real estate agent, just sole proprietor, if you're a real estate investor, if you have any type of small business involvement whatsoever, I think Uber drivers, drivers for Uber Eats or Lyft or any of that, I think will qualify for PPP loans. And they're really great, and they're called a loan, but the idea behind that, and I want to just, this is what I want to kind of drive home today, is funds are available. You probably qualify if you have small business involvement, and they call them a loan, but it's really designed to be free money. The loan amount is designed to be forgiven. The reason they made it a loan is so they could have some strings attached, some accountability as far as who's getting it. But it's designed to be helping people and being a stimulus, not chains that you're going to be tied to for the next couple of years or paying interest on. It's designed to inject money into small businesses. So what Congress did is they came out yesterday and passed a bill that said PPP loans, instead of having to spend the money on payroll and spend it over 8 weeks, you now can spend it over 20 weeks, which is just way, way easier to do. So they're really trying to clarify and make it very simple to get forgiveness of these loans. And I think I showed last week the original forgiveness worksheet that they put out was really complex. It was like 11 pages. I think they're trying to simplify that. And this is a bill that it passed 415 to 1 in the House. It should pass the Senate and get signed into law next week. So it should be official next week. And it did a couple things, but the most notable is, in my opinion, is to increase the amount of time to spend on payroll to 20 weeks. And then if you do have any amount that's left over that does not get forgiven, you, instead of having 2-year loan at 1%, you have a 5-year loan at 1%, and got a much smaller monthly payment to pay that back. So that'll make a huge difference too. And I think they passed the bill. These loans look good to some people, and then they looked kind of like a lot of strings attached. And some people just don't like debt. They don't like the idea of debt, which is fine. But what I want to drive home today is that this is designed to be a stimulus and something that helps your small business. It's not designed to tie you to the government for the rest of your life or put you in debt. So I thank y'all for watching. I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel. Again, I'm going to keep putting these updates out on our market and on the stimulus and everything to do with Corona. And I hope y'all have a great week, and I will see you next week.